vulnerability. And then 15,000 of the people are coming to live in Africa just because they are building a road for you. We don't have the knowledge to maintain that infrastructure. And now they're just gaining citizenship because they're here for a long time. If you live here for 15 years building a road, of course you can get citizenship. And now there's a land crisis in Africa. Where will Africans live? I am sorry for my continent.
Good morning, Namibia, and welcome to My Zone Online School. I'm Mr. Sean Diergaard, and we have a lovely friend with us today. And the two of us are so excited to be bringing Maths Grade 4 and 5 to you today. But before we can start with our lesson, we should first sanitize. My friend, let's take our sanitize, spray in our hands. Let's clean our hands. We have our masks on. And also remember social distance, at least 1.5 meters away from each other. So let's spread out and then we see. Wow, thank you, my friend. Now today's lesson is numeration and place value. Okay, boys and girls, I want you to take out your books and open it on page 8. Now we're going to start with numeration. Now the question is, what is numeracy? Numeracy is the ability to understand and work with numbers. Now remember, when we work with numbers, they can give us numbers in digit form and they can also give us numbers in words. Now whenever they give me a number in the form of a digit and they want me to write it in words, there's one rule which I should always make sure of, and that is correct spelling. Because it's very, very important that we spell the number correctly whenever we write it in words. And when they give me the number in words, and they want me to write it in the form of a digit, there's also one rule. When the digits are 4 and more, remember to leave a space between the fourth and the third number. It's very important, guys, that we learn these two rules. Now we continue with a few examples. Let's look at our first examples. Write 23 in words. So there they give you the number 23. So they want me to write it in words. Now it's always easy to write a number in words because why? Here we say the number out loud, and as we hear the digits, we write it down. So let's start. 23. 20, so we hear the word 20, and then we write 20, and then we also hear the word 3. So we write 3. 23. And going back to our rule, make sure we spell 23 correctly. Let's try another example. Write 712 in digits. Here they gave me the word 712 and they want me to write it in digits. Now when we write numbers in digits, we start writing from the biggest number that we hear. So what is the biggest number that we hear? Yes, if you said 700, that is the biggest number. So we're going to write 700 and then we also hear 12 and then we're going to write the 12. You want to try one more example? Write 3,925 in words. Remember what I said? Always try to say the number out loud. And as you hear the number, then you write it down. So let's start. 3,000, that is the first word that I hear. So I write down 3,000. 900, that is the second. I write it down, and 25. So 3,925. And do not forget about your spelling. Guys, I want you to do the rest of the examples. Without looking on the answers, I want you to try that examples. But don't forget, whenever they give you the word, the digits in words, remember the space between the fourth and the third digits. Thank you. Now we continue. We go over to page 9, and we start with place value. Now, what is place value? Place value, remember, also deals with numbers. Now, a number is made out of different digits. And in that number, each of that digits has a specific place and a specific value. Now, you will hear the word place value, and you will also hear the word value. And it's important that we know what is the difference between place value and the difference between just value. Now, going back to previous years, if you look at grade 1, 2, and 3, we always heard the teacher talked about units, tens, hundreds, thousands. Now, that is the place value. That is the position a number has, a digit has in a number. So whenever we talk about place value, we talk about units, tens, hundreds, thousands, and these are usually written in words. And from the place value, we get the value. Now, value is how much is that digit worth? Is that digit worth 30, 300, 3,000, 30,000? So you will hear when we talk about value, we talk about how much the digit is worth. So please, guys, try to remember the difference between place value, which is unit, tens, hundreds, thousands, and then value, which will refer to how much the digit is worth. Is it worth 20, 50,000, 6, etc.? And we usually use a place value chart, which we will record our digits in. And from the place value chart, we get our place value and we get our value. Now let's try a few examples. If we look at our book, there we have quite a big number. It says, fill in the numbers below in the correct place value on the place value chart. A number is 396,287. Are we together, my friend? Yes, we are together. Now let's see. Here we need to fill in each digit in the place value chart. In our place value chart, we usually start from the smallest place value, which is our units or ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, and 100,000. So now we know the 7 is a unit, the 8 is a 10, the 2 is 100, the 6 is 1,000, the 9 is 10,000, and the 3 is 100,000. And that is the place value. Now let's look at our questions. What is the place value of the 9? Remember the word place? Place means position. Where in that number is the 9? And if we refer to our place value chart, we see the place value of the 9 is 10,000. Now let's try. What is the value of the 9? Here we see, they just ask for value. We don't see the word place, we just see the word value. So here they want to know, how much is that 9 worth? And we get it from the place value. We know the place value is 10,000. We take the 10,000, we multiply it with the 9, and the value is 90,000. Let's try one more example. What is the value of the 2? Here they only want to know what the value is. There's no place, so let's quickly try it. What do you think, what is the value? If you said the value is 200, that is 100% correct. How did we get it? We know the place is 100, and we said 2 times 100, and that is equal to 200. We want to try one more example. My friend also wants to try one more example. Is that correct? Yes. So let's try. What is the place value of the 7? Here we hear the word place value again. So here we know we want to find out what place or position the 7 has. We go to our place value chart and we see the 7 is a unit or it is a 1. So the place value of the 7, you can either write it as units or you can write it as ones. Well done, learners. And we can continue on page 10. Here we have a very nice activity for you guys to do. This activity is based on numeration and place value. Let's quickly go through the activity. Write 29 in words. Here they want us to write in words. Remember the rule. Check for spelling. Number 2, write 505 in digits. Number 3, write 578 in words. Check for spelling. Number 4 is quite a big word. 74,311 in digits. Let's repeat that again. Write 74,311 in digits. Here we should not forget the space between the 4th and the 3rd digit. Number 5, fill in the number 29,653 in the place value chart below. So there's a place value chart, units, tens, 100,000s, 10,000s, and 100,000s. Here, 5.1. Fill in the place value and the value of the 2. Then we want both the place value and the value. What is the value of the 5? And 5.3. What is the place value of the 6? Guys and girls, I really hope you will enjoy doing this activity. On page 11, you will find the memorandum. Memorandum is answers. But first, I want you to try to do these sums without looking at your answers. Boys and girls, I really hope you enjoyed today's lesson with me and my friend. And we want to say, please keep safe. Whenever you travel, wear your mask, sanitize, and keep social distance. Goodbye.
Hi everyone, I'm Joshi. And make sure to always make a helicopter circle, stretching your arms out and spinning around like me. And make sure you're not touching anyone while doing this. Goodbye!
Good morning, Namibia. Welcome to my zone online school. My name is Mr. Phineas Majon. I'm here with Chanel. Let us start by sanitizing our hands. When you are sanitizing your hands, you are supposed to spray inside your hands. Then, after done, you are supposed to make sure that you are putting on your mask. Let us maintain social distance. Today, we are going to focus on grade 4 and 5 mathematics. The lesson for today is going to focusing on number and number patterns. Let us turn to page 13. On page 13, we are going to start with odd and even numbers. Whole numbers are classified as odd and even numbers. Even numbers, they end with 0, 2, 4, 6. Whereas odd numbers, they always end with a 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. So when you are counting in twos, it means you are listing all the odd numbers. So there are examples shown there on page 13, which show odd numbers. The first one is 3, the next one, 125, the second one, third one, 67, then 239, 1,299, 37,657. So when you are identifying odd numbers, you're just looking at the last number. If the last number is ending with the n of the number which are listed on top, it means it's an odd number. The second examples given are even numbers. The first one is 6, then 232, 324, 5,688, 34,670. Let us face on the chalkboard and try to solve some examples which are there. We all know even numbers. They are supposed to end with 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. And odd numbers, their units are supposed to have 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. So whenever you are identifying your even numbers, you just look at the unit. If the unit is having one of these numbers, it means that number is an even number. Chanel, can you come and help us to identify even numbers? Just underline them. Let us check whether it is correct or not. We just look at the last number, 8. 8 is also there, meaning to say it's correct. On the second one, just look at the last number, 0. 0 is also there. So it's even. Then on this one, you are having a 2 at the end, which is there. So these answers are all correct. Let us go to the second example. We look at the last number. 1 is also there. So it's odd, and this one, 9, is also there. So it's odd. I think you managed to understand how to identify even numbers. Let us go to page 13 on the bottom. It's written number patterns. When you are given a number pattern or a sequence, you are supposed to take note of the following. The first one, you are supposed to identify the first term, or the number which is written first. Then you are supposed to start the pattern to see whether it is increasing or decreasing. If it is increasing, you are supposed to take note of the number by which it is increasing. The same applies when it is decreasing. You are supposed to see it is decreasing by how much. Let us look at the first example. We are supposed to describe the pattern. That pattern is having 50, 55, 60, 65, and 70. The first thing is to identify the first term. So our pattern is starting at 50. Then, if you are starting at 50 and going to 55, it means we are going up. So we are supposed to see we are going up by how many? So we are going to say 55 minus 60, we get 5. So it means each term we are going to have is having 5 more than the previous one. That is why we end up having 50, 55, 60, 65, 70. Our pattern is going up. Let us go to the second example. The first term is 880, 860, 840, and 820. From that pattern, we identify our first term as 880. So it means the sequence is starting at 880. But if you go back to our pattern, you are going to see that 880 is followed by 860, meaning to say we are going down. We're having 80, now we're having 60. Then from 60, we're having 40. So if you say 8 minus 60, we are going to get 20. So it means our sequence is going down by 2, meaning to say each number is 20 less than the number before. Let us now go to page 14. On page 14, we are going to put missing numbers. So the skills which we're using on number patterns are the ones which we are going to apply now. To find the missing number, you are supposed to start the pattern first and see whether it is increasing or decreasing. Then we are supposed to find the number by which it is increasing or decreasing with. Let us go to example 1. We are having 2,400 as our first term, followed by 2,402. If we just look at those two numbers, we are going to see that the first number increased by 2. The third number is now 2,404. So it means we're going to have 2, 4, 6 going up like that. So for us to find our first missing number, it means we are supposed to add a 2. So our third number now becomes 2,460. 2,406. Then from that 2,406, we also add another 2 again. Then we go to 2,408. The next one is given already, which is 2,410. Then the last one also add a 2. Then it becomes 2,412. Let us go to the second example. Our first number on the second example is 7,520, followed by 7,515. Then the third one, 7,510. If you look at the first two numbers, we are having 20 at the end, then the second one is having 15 at the end. It means our numbers are going down. But for them to change from 20 to 15, it means they are going down by 5. So it means we are supposed to subtract 5 for us to get the next term. So if we say 7,510 minus 5, we go to 7,505, which is our first missing number. Then you subtract 5 again, we go to 7,500. Then to get the last number, we subtract 5 again, we go to 7,495. So for your activity, the first one, you are supposed to underline odd numbers, like what we did on the chalkboard. I can identify one for you, then you do the rest on your own on number 1. Remember, when you are dealing with odd numbers, you are supposed to work with the numbers which are ending with 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. So all the numbers which are not ending with those ones are not odd numbers. So 435 is an odd number. You are going to do the rest on your own. Then number 2 is saying underline even numbers. For you to remember even numbers, you are supposed to recite 2's times table, which is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So any number which is ending with 2, 4, 6, 8, and 0 is an odd number. I can give you 38,000 there as an even number. Then number 3, we are supposed to describe the number pattern. When you are describing the number pattern, we are supposed to first identify the first term. Then you see whether it's increasing or decreasing. I will do 3A for you. We are saying the sequence is starting at 1,000. And each term is having 300 more than the first term, because we are adding 300. Then on number 4, you are putting missing numbers. You are supposed to start the pattern and see whether it is increasing or decreasing. If you start with 175, then you go to 200. You see that it's going up. But you are supposed to see that it is going up by 25. If you say 200 minus 175, you get 25. So you are supposed to add that same number for you to finish the work. I think everything is done. There is a memo for you to see whether your answers are correct or wrong. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. Let us now sanitize our hands. Let us maintain social distance. We are supposed to always put on our masks. Till next time, goodbye.
Hi everyone, I'm Josie and I'm back. Even though the schools are closed, I thought about we can still do online classes, learning and reading. You can also do your schoolwork. Until next time, bye!
Love to hear from you. Send us your views, comments, and videos with your name and town to the One Africa TV's WhatsApp on 081 200 6659 or send an SMS to 555. One Africa TV, it just gets better.
Welcome to my zone online school. My name is Mr. Litwai Dumi, and welcome to my class. And my friend, we are grade 6 and 7 mathematics. And before we start with our lesson, let us remember to wear mask and sanitize our hands. You spray your hands, wipe it through your hands, in between fingers, let it dry. And let us remember to keep our social distance, stretch out the sides and also in front. Today's lesson is on whole numbers. Okay, let us now go to page 12, where the mathematic notes have started. We start with whole numbers, and then we also need to know the terminologies that we are mostly going to use in this lesson. The first one is the place value, and the definition of that is the position of a number, usually written in words. The value, how much a digit is worth in a number, is usually written in a number form. The value should be written in a number form. Expanded notation, writing values of each digit in a number. Those are the terminologies, so we have to go one by one, breaking them down. Place values. We use the base 10 number system, meaning from 0 to 9. You can see the number which are listed there. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. If you look at the first picture which is indicated there, the diagram, you can see that is an abacus, whereby at the bottom there are place values starting from the left, from the right to the left. I will repeat that again. Starting from right to left. We have unit, we have tens, we have hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, and 100,000s. And they are also written in capital letters or in abbreviations. But take note of H. H at thousands, which is written in small letters. That is how you have to write them. You can write them in full, or you can also write them in such way, but make sure it is exactly like that. The circles which are shaded indicate the number per that place or per that position. There is 9 added to 1, which gives 10. It's just an explanation on that abacus, but I will do that on the chalkboard in a few minutes. The second abacus, the explanation which is given there is, when another unit is added, we now have 10 units. This means it cannot fit in the unit column or in the units column. So I have to move into the tens column. We now have one counter in the tens column and none in the units column. Each place value column is 10 times bigger than the previous. Now going back to that diagram, the second one, which is almost the repetition of what is up. 9 added to 1, it gives 10. But the last statement mentioned or states that if you move from the right to the left, as you move from unit to tens, you have to multiply by 10. We'll explain that also on the chalkboard. Now we can move to page 13. The third abacus on our notes, it is explained as, so this number is written in words, would be written as it follows. There is 830164, and that, to write it in words, is 830,164. 830,164. So that is how you write it in words. Numbers are grouped together in groups of 3. They are read that way too. The word 1,000 is read in the space. Now if our third terminology is expanded notation, and if you have to write that number in expanded notation, you take a digit, for example 8 in the place of 100,000, you multiply that with 100,000. You take 3 in the place of 10,000, you multiply with 10,000. 0 in the place of 1,000. So 0, the value of 0 is 0. So even if you multiply 0 times 1,000, you get 0. That's why there's a cross there, for you to make sure and know that we do not write that. We have 1 in a position of 100, you multiply with 100. We have 6 in position of tens, you have to multiply with 10. We have 4 in position of a unit, and the unit in other terms is ones. This has no value, so we cannot write it. We mean the 0. 0 times 1,000, then you get a 0. There is no reason to write that 0. Another example is also written there, which is 3 times 100,000, 1 times 10,000, 9 times 1,000, 4 times 100, 7 times 10, 2 times 1, giving 319,472. Let's try some more example together. We have 34,623. If you have to expand that, you can do it exactly how it's shown on that slide, and then your final answer should be 30,000 plus 4,000 plus 600 plus 20 plus 3. The hundreds are 100 times bigger than the units. The thousands are 1,000 times bigger than the units. Okay, to start with a practical activity here, I would like to explain about the abacus. I have prepared one here, which is, I prepared it yesterday. Of course, you can do yours at home. Use whatever material you have and come up with something of that nature for you to understand this much and much better. So if you look at this abacus, I have the straws here, which are there to stand in position of place values. We have got a unit here, and then we have a tens, we have 100, and the list goes. The leads are there to assist us to know how many digits that the weight, how many values per place value. So if you look at the first unit, if I ask what digit can be explained there or mentioned there at the unit, you can see that there is 3 at the unit, there is 2 at the tens, so and the list goes. So you can make yours and practice as much as you can for you to understand. So do that and at least show to your teacher what you have done during this learning of e-learning. Thank you. Now we have to move to the chalkboard. Coming to the chalkboard, the number you can see here is 34,623. So this is the number which appeared on that abacus we are just showing now. And if we are to put this number on an abacus which is drawn, remember you can write it this way, that a 3 start always with a unit. You go to the tens, the number that represent a tens, which is a 2. We have a 6, we have a 4, and we have a 3. Now, in that manner, you will be able to understand or know what you can circle per place value. For example, the unit, we have 3, so in that manner you can circle 3, 1, 2, 3. And for tens, we can say is 2. For 100, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3. Now if you look at the place values, are they indicated at the bottom? And the values are represented as per place value. At the unit we are having 3, and the list goes. Now, that question can come. What is the place value, for example, of 6? The place value for 6, where that 6 is, what position, in simple English we say, what position is 6? So the place value for 6, it will be 100. You can write it as 100, abbreviated, or you can write it as hundreds, like that. The second one, we can also ask what value of that underlined digit. What is the value of 6? The value of 6, we get the value in this manner. You take 6, you multiply with the place value of 6. 6 is in position of 100. Now you have to multiply 6 times 100 to give you 600. So the value of 6 is 600. That is the answer. And if I have to ask the expanded notation, the expanded notation cannot be asked in such a way that of an underlined digit. No. An expanded notation will require all the numbers that we have to use here. All the digits in the number 34,623 in an expanded notation, we get it how? 3 in position of a unit, you multiply with 1. 2 in position of tens, you multiply with 10. 6 in position of 100, we multiply with 100. 4 in position of 1,000, we multiply with 1,000. And 3 in a position of 10,000, we multiply with 10,000. But when you give your answer, it must be done this way. You say equal, an expanded notation of this number. Say, I'll just repeat the number, 34,623. It must give me, just take this out. I need to take this out. It must give me, we use bracket to separate the operations. So we have 3 times 10,000, and then we have to separate that with plus. You understand the reason of this addition later. 4 times 1,000 plus 6 times 100 plus 2 times 10 plus 3 times 1. We have our 34,623. If you multiply these, you get 30,000. If you multiply these, 4 times 1,000, you get 4,000. And this addition is coming there, 4,000. And if you multiply 6 times 100, it will be 600. 2 times 10, it will be 20. And 3 times 1 must give you 3. Now, this is the expanded notation. Another word for notation is called form. Is form. So this is the expanded notation. In simple terms, an expanded notation is to make this number as huge, as large as it is, separated with addition in betweens. Why do we separate with addition? Because if we add all these numbers together, they will give us this number. We can also try it. I'll take the first number, which is 30,000. 30,000. I'll take 4,000. Let us add in a vertical way. It is called standard logarithm. 600. I add 20, and I add 3. I have a line, and I have my addition here. If you add all these numbers, I'll get a 3. If you add all these numbers, I'll get a 2. I'll get a 6. I'll get a 4. And I'll get a 3. If I do not forget that equal. So at the end, this addition is also, you can also say it's between 30,000 plus 4,000 plus 600, and it must give you. So this still come back to that. So this is the expanded notation, and this is a number which is written as a single. Now, to recap the 3 terminologies, we need to understand that the place value, when they ask you for the place value, we either write a word or an abbreviation. Place value of 2, you can say is 10. it is tens. Of 3 is unit. Of 4 is thousand, and it goes. The values is a digit multiplied by its place value in numeric form. If I have H for hundreds, this is the same as 100. This is just written in words or in abbreviation, and that is in numeric. So in some exams, you may be asked and you find they did not use 100 as a word, but they use it as a number, as numeric. So there is no difference. That is just the same thing. That is the value. You take a digit, you multiply with the place value, and then you get your value. Expanded notation, you take a number, and then you make it large in such a way that we have addition in the middle. Addition in the middle. That will also prove to you that you can still come back to the same number. You can also try this number here. First of all, we have 2, 4, 3. 2, 4, 3. You need to know how to write this in words. I don't know what it is. You can try it in a minute. We have 1, 3 here. You can also try to write it in words. And we have 9. You need to know also how to write 9. That is just for you to know how to write the numbers in words. Now, you can also test yourself. Place values. What is the place value of 2 in this number? What is the place value of 4 in this number? What is the place value of 3 in this number? Yet, you continue the values. What is the value of 2 in this number? What is the value of 4? And what is the value of 3? And you need to expand. How do you expand this number? So, you can try that at home, and it will help you, of course, to know and understand these 3 concepts much better. Okay, let us now do the activity 1 on page 13. So we start with number 1. You need to draw a solid line to match the numbers with the words. So what you have to do is, you have to read the words and then look at the digits or the numbers to see which one correspond with that statement. So you start with the word, you read it, and you check at the numbers and see which one is corresponding. You just draw a line to connect or to match the two. I hope that is very easy. So you can try that one. And then we proceed to page 14, where number 2 is there. So there are abacus which are drawn. So what you have to do is, you must color in the circles to make the following numbers. The numbers are written at the bottom of each abacus. All you have to do is just to color. Number 3, write the following in numerals. Here numbers are not written. All you have to do is, you can write them down below the place values, and then you have to write them nicely on the line. You can use a pencil first and then write them on the line nicely with a pen. You have to look at the unit, how many shaded circles are there. Then you have to write your digit as a unit. You go to the tenth and so on and so on. I think that's also easy. Number 4, you need to fill in the place value chart. The first one has been done for you. If you look at the first one, is 829. 9 will be in the place of units, 2 will be in the place of tens, and 8 in place of hundreds. So you can do the rest in that table. It is easy. Remember to start at the unit. Remember to start from right to left. Number 5, fill in the numbers in the spaces. So this is now expanded notation. What we are testing here is expanded notation. There are spaces where I left for you to fill in. If you have to expand 2962, so you have to start with 2000 plus I don't know what is that. You have to put it yourself, and then plus 2. So you can also do that. I think it's very easy to do. Number 6 is for you to give the place value of the underlined digit, the digit which is underlined. A to C, you can see in A, 2 is underlined. B, we have 6, and C, we have 2. So remember, put your place values with a pencil for you to know exactly which place is 2, 6, and 2. You can also do that, it's very easy. And the extended work is for you to practice more and more. And if we go to number 7, we say 4 says 2, 6, 8, 4 written in expanded notation is 2000 plus 600 plus 84. Is it correct? Here I only need yes or no. Yes or no. Number 8, look at this number, 395. Why can't we expand it as 3 plus 9 plus 5? Why are we not expanding it in that way? Would you please give me a reason? So you have to explain. If the space is small, write and continue below the line. And make sure you first have to think and go through your work and see where is the wrong. So where you find here is supposed to be like this, then that is what you have to give as a reason.